The bell rang, signaling the end of another long day at Mana Academy. Students flooded out of their classrooms, the weight of the school day lifting as everyone made their way out to enjoy the evening. Kaius packed his bag slowly, trying to delay the inevitable as long as possible. He didn't want to be dragged into another training session, but Callen was already leaning against the doorframe, waiting for him. "You ready, or are you going to keep stalling?" Callen grinned, his arms folded casually. Kaius sighed, his gaze flicking briefly to the window where the sunlight cast long shadows across the campus. Yeah, I'm ready." He threw his bag over his shoulder with a small grunt. "Good," Callen said, a teasing glint in his eye. "Leah's waiting for us." Kaius didn't respond, his thoughts already drifting to the quiet time they'd spend with their friends. He didn't mind the training as much when it wasn't just him and Callen. Leah and Selene made it bearable. At least they weren't demanding anything from him. Callen glanced at him, a small smirk playing on his lips. "What's the matter, Kaius? Don't tell me you're nervous to see Leah." Kaius frowned, pushing the teasing aside. "I'm not nervous. Let's just get going." As they walked through the hallway, Selene appeared at their side, her presence so quiet it was almost like she materialized out of thin air. She didn't speak right away, just matched their pace with a soft, steady rhythm of footsteps. "Heading to the gates?" Selene asked, her voice as quiet as ever. "Yeah," Kaius replied, glancing over at her. "You coming?" Selene gave a small nod, but her gaze lingered on the floor. She was always distant, but it was the kind of quiet that didn't feel out of place, like a constant companion. Kaius couldn't help but feel a sense of kinship with her, the two of them often existing in the background while others took the spotlight. As they made their way outside, the group was joined by Leah, who had caught up with them outside the school building, her usual enthusiastic smile lighting up her face. "Hey guys, wait up!" She waved as she jogged over, her earth magic swirling around her, the faintest sense of movement underfoot betraying her energy. Kaius gave her a quick smile. "You ready for the usual?" "Of course." Leah grinned, her excitement contagious. "The sooner we get through the drills, the more time we have for fun." "Fun? What, like your version of fun involves crushing rocks?" Callen teased. "Hey, don't knock it until you try it," Leah shot back playfully. Before anyone could respond, a familiar voice interrupted from nearby. "Trying to sneak off without saying hello?" Kaius stiffened at the sound of Nathan's voice. His older brother was leaning against the stone wall by the entrance, watching them with an amused expression on his face. "Not sneaking," Kaius muttered, a bit defensive. "We were just on our way out." Nathan raised an eyebrow, a sly grin spreading across his face. Sure. Just didn't want to get caught up in one of my drills, huh?" "You're not fooling anyone, Nathan," Callen chimed in with a smirk. "Kaius isn't running from you today." "Oh, I wasn't worried about that," Nathan said with a casual shrug. "I'm sure Kaius has his hands full with the rest of the day's fun." He then turned to Selene, his tone shifting. "But what about you, Selene? Still avoiding me?" Selene barely looked up, but there was a quiet, almost imperceptible shift in her stance. "I'm fine," she said, the soft words carrying a weight Kaius didn't fully understand. Nathan's eyes softened, though his expression remained unreadable. "Sure you are," he said, but it was clear his attention was elsewhere. "Just don't push yourself too hard, all right?" "Don't worry about me," Selene replied quietly. As the tension between the two lingered, a sharp voice broke through. "Callen, are you getting distracted again?" Aelia Ignis appeared, hands on her hips, her fiery energy unmistakable as she approached the group. Her eyes glinted as they landed on Callen, a teasing smile forming. "You've been spending too much time with Kaius, haven't you? Don't tell me you're actually enjoying it." Callen gave her an exaggerated pout. "You wound me, Aelia. I'd never enjoy spending time with him more than with you." Aelia scoffed, but couldn't hide the playful gleam in her eyes. "Just make sure you don't start picking up his bad habits, Callen. You're a much more interesting person when you're not sulking in the background. Callen's grin widened as he shot a glance at Kaius. If you say so, but I've got to admit, I'm getting pretty good at this whole hanging out thing. Aelia rolled her eyes but continued, her voice teasing as she turned back to Callen. You'd better be, because we all know you need it. Before anyone could respond, Lucian Umbra, his face as calm and unreadable as ever, appeared from the shadows of a nearby archway. His dark eyes scanned the group, taking in the banter with a detached, almost uninterested air. Interrupting as usual, Aelia? Lucian's voice was smooth, almost quiet, like the calm before a storm. And Callen, it seems you've been keeping Kaius company again. Callen, unbothered, gave a lazy salute. Someone has to keep the guy entertained, but hey, you're always welcome to join us. Might help you break out of that "I'm too cool for this" routine. Lucian's lips twitched upward just slightly, though it was clear he wasn't entirely amused. I prefer my quiet, he said, his gaze lingering briefly on Selene before he continued. But don't let me keep you all from your little gathering. I'm sure there's plenty of fun to go around. Aelia raised an eyebrow. Always the loner, Lucian. You never change. Nathan chuckled at the exchange, but then turned his attention back to the group. All right, enough with the chatter. You guys are about to run out of daylight. Kaius sighed, wishing they could just skip to the part where he hung out with his friends and didn't have to think about training, but he knew that wouldn't be the case. Let's get going, he said, keeping his voice light despite the heaviness he felt building inside him. We'll get through it and then we can finally have some fun? Leah cut in with a grin. Kaius nodded, finally allowing himself a smile as they made their way down the path toward the training grounds. The pressure didn't go away, but for a few moments at least, it felt bearable.